Hi all, this is just a quick video to help you get acclimated with our class and find everything that you need to go through this week. So I'm on Crafton Hill College's web page, on their homepage, and I'm going to go to logins, the top login, which is for online classes / Canvas. The login page is going to request your normal login information for WebAssign or your email. When you log into Canvas, you'll see any classes that your instructors have set up for Canvas. And you want to pick the correct one, which is probability and statistics. This is our home page. This is the instructor view of the home page. So let me just select student view real quick so you can see what it looks like for you. So you've got home, syllabus, my lab and mastering, which is my math lab, announcements, modules, which is where all the information for our class from week to week is, and your grades. You also have a Start Here button, another link to modules, an Ask the Instructor discussion, an Ask a Classmate discussion, and another link to announcements, just so you don't lose them. I'm going to go ahead and select the Start Here button, and I'll be able to see week 0 objectives. Normally these would all be grayed out, but I have already clicked on them, so they're black and they'll let me click on them. Normally for you, only week 0 objectives at the top would be visible and everything else would be grayed out because it wants you to go through them in sequential order, which means top to bottom. So I'm going to select week 0 objectives, and this is a nice summary of what's coming up. Selecting the next button on the bottom right of the page will move you through all of the pages in this module, so this next button right here. And then also, you must complete this module by Sunday, August 19th at 11:59 p.m. or you may be considered a no-show for the class. So showing up on the first day is great, but not completing this module shows me that you don't have enough dedication to make it through this class. It's very important that you go through this first module and read all of that is expected from you in statistics. Hit the next button. That'll bring me to lecture 00, which hopefully I'll have time to make a video going through, but if not, you should still read through the slides. The next button again will take you to the syllabus, which you should also read through and contains important information on things like netiquette and extra credit, academic honesty, the grading scheme, and it has a flow of instruction for the sections we'll cover and quizzes for those sections. Here's my Math Lab page, which I usually call MML. It shows you how to access My Math Lab. It shows you how to ask homework questions, and it shows you the PDF from Pearson on how to register. There's an entire page on online communication and etiquette. Email is becoming more and more popular way for us to communicate, and we have several discussions that we participate in online, so it's important that you read through this and adhere to the standards for netiquette. I also expect you to make a study schedule to show me that you're willing to spend enough time in our class every week. So you should have at least 12 hours dedicated to this class every week. And I'd like to see that represented in the study schedule that you submit using this assignment. There's finally a quiz that will go over everything that you've just read about. You can see it's unlimited attempts, so you can just keep taking it until you get full credit. And this discussion is new. We don't usually do this meet and greet discussion, but since we didn't have class on the first day, I've added it so that we still have that opportunity to talk to each other and get to know each other, even if it's online. So your post will have your name, an interesting fact about you, a definition from chapter 1 of our textbook, and your personal explanation of what that definition means. And you should also respond to 2 of your peers. Let me do a quick reply and response. So I'm going to say, hello, class. I'm going to respond to all of these, so I can just copy and paste them, and that way it makes it easier. My name is Professor Bayless. An interesting fact about me is that, I don't know, I'll come up with something later. It's too hard on the spot. Okay. A definition from chapter 1, which I can copy paste from chapter 1. It's just the exact wording of the definition, and then your explanation of that definition. I can delete this one, and then sign off with a cheers, PD. So a salutation and a sign-off are required for Netiquette. You always greet who you're talking to and then tell them who wrote it. So I'm going to post that reply real quick so I can show you how to reply to another student. So test student made that. And I can reply to test student right here, reply, and then post the reply. So this would count as your initial post, and this is one of 2 replies you would need to make to other students, not to yourself. I'm going to go ahead and delete all that. And that is the end of Module 0. That will take you to our first lecture, which you can open in a new window. And this would be a PowerPoint presentation that we'll go through in class. The next button will take you to the textbook, but this student doesn't have an account, so I can't see anything. Speaking of which, I'll show you the MyLab and Mastering page. I'm going to open MyLab and Mastering. If you're clicking on this for the very first time, then your pop-up blocker will probably stop it from opening. If that happens, look up here in the browser window for the pop-up blocker. So if you're clicking on the yellow button and nothing is happening, it's probably the pop-up blocker. So look for it over here and say always allow, and after you allow it, you have to click on it again. So I'm going to accept the end user license agreement, and then I'm going to sign in. And it wants my access code, and look, I can get temporary access for 14 days. So you can either use the access code you've already purchase it for $104, or get the 2 weeks free access. So any one of those options is good. Obviously, you have to pay for it eventually, but this gives you some time to kind of play around and make sure you're comfortable with the class first. I'm going to close that, and I'm going to leave student view so I can show you what the Pearson stuff looks like within here. So if I go back to modules, where all of our class information is, I'm going to minimize the Start Here module and go straight to week 1. So here's week 1. It's got lecture. This is the PowerPoint slide, and now this is the actual textbook. So I'm going to open that. And it takes a good while to load because it's like a giant PDF-y flash thing of the textbook. Loading. Still loading. Okay, so here's Chapter 1, Part 1. The table of contents is right here, so I can jump around. Oh, look, I can take my own notes, and I can make bookmarks. Okay, there's one thing I wanted to show you. I'm going to skip straight to Chapter 1, 1.1. And it's got these cool links, which means that I can click on them, and they'll bring me directly to videos that the author has made. So I can open a video and watch the video on that section as well as read through the books. So here's an example of a definition, what statistics is. I can, I think, copy-paste. If not, I'll just have to retype it. So let's go a couple more pages and see if we can find another definition. Here's some more definitions. There are a ton of definitions to choose from, and I'm going to update this discussion, so I realized I didn't put it in there, to make sure that you don't post the same definition as somebody else. So you need to find a unique definition, but there's lots and lots of definitions to choose from. Okay, the last thing I want to show you is the homework. The homework is embedded within the weeks too, so here's a section 1.1 homework. I select it, and then the homework after I have a MyMathLab account is embedded within Canvas, so I don't have to keep signing into MyMathLab. And then I can answer the homework questions, click on it, and hit, oh, this is in the way, but there's a submit button right there. I can also use the question help, watch a video on this section, go to the textbooks on this section, or ask my instructor about this section. If it's more of a math problem, which I'm not sure there's any math problems in Chapter 1, there will also be a, oh, here we go, help me solve this, and a view an example. Okay, so that's the very basic layout of our class. So again, you need to read through that first module, submit a study schedule, complete the quiz, and then submit something to the discussion board and make sure your definition is unique.